Richard, 5 top tips to beat low fee estate agents. Talk to me. Number 1.
Number one, know your type of client. And what do I mean by that? So what I mean by that is, as agents, we used to fall prey to, oh, I've sold that 3-bed semi in that road and that 3-bed semi in the road over. I'm going one road over for another valuation. I'll get it on. And what happens is we go in there and we don't get it on, or we do a deal on the fees and we still don't get it on, and we can't believe it. Why didn't they put it on with us? What people need to start establishing is who is their type of buyer, which is going to be to a degree their type of house.
Okay. And when you say buyer of your services,
their type of client,
Yes.
house seller, their type of vendor. So their type of vendor might be recently retired, has 2 cars, likes a particular type of decor, shops in a particular type of shop.
Gets the demographic of that
the
person.
demographic of that person will be their type of client, their type of vendor. And just because it's the sort of house that they've sold the last 2 of, it may not be their type of buyer. So if you want to raise your fee, establish who your type of buyer, type of client is, your type of vendor is, and then when you meet your type of client, be clear that that person wants to buy from you. You know, understand. You know, I was speaking to an agent recently who went out. We went through this exercise. Their fee is 1.5%. They really wanted the house. The guy up the road said they'd do it for 1%. They signed them up for 1.2%, and they felt they got a small victory. And I explained to them that they probably would have paid the 1.5%. They're your type of buyer. All your clients that pay you great fees are between 60 and 65 years old. They're all retired. They all drive German cars. They all do their supermarket shopping in this type of shop. They're your demographic of buyer. They wanted you. And then he started to take that on and realised that. So that would be point
It's all
number
about
1.
proving worth. What's the second?
Number 2, 0 weeks agency agreements.
Go on.
0 weeks agency agreements.
Any notice period?
1 week notice period if you've got to do anything at all. I'd leave that to you, up to you to decide.
Okay. So what's the advantage of 0 week contracts then?
So 0 week contract says I understand my product is about relationships, and if you're about relationships, you should buy from me. You should buy my product. And if at some point you don't like my product and we haven't got a strong relationship, I probably wouldn't earn any money from you anyway. And if I did, the amount of time it would take me to make that money, I could sign someone else up on 0 weeks who wouldn't leave me, who'd pay me a good fee and would work with me over the few months to get you sold.
Very fair. What's number 3?
Number 3, Chris, is going to be raise your game.
Okay. What does that mean?
Well,
Easy to say.
Easy to say, but it's the basics. You know, it's the absolute basics. Hello, Mr. Watkins. I'll be round in 15 minutes at 5 o'clock, like we said. Look forward to seeing you then. Have your shoes shiny. If you wear shirt and tie, have your tie done up. If you turn up in a car, make sure it's clean. Have your business cards ready. Be professional. Understand the responsibility of what you're doing.
But surely all agents are clean and tidy and have a nice clean car, don't they?
Do they?
Interesting. What's number 4?
Number 4, raising your fee. Great tip to raise your fee. Always be willing to walk away. Stop taking on rubbish.
Easy to say, mate.
It's easy to say. It is easy to say, and it's a mindset that takes a little while to get into.
Okay.
And
how do you improve that mindset? How do you walk away from, I'm at 1.5 and someone says I'll do it for 1 and it's a cracking sell? It takes some balls to walk away from that great 1%er.
You've got to work that out, okay? And what's right for you and what's not right for you. And one thing we know is that businesses don't run successfully by dropping the price of their product.
True.
That's not how successful businesses operate. You've got a product, this is the price. You may negotiate a bit, that's in our genes, in estate, you see that's in our DNA. So you may have before I go in, I'd negotiate down to X.
Maybe it's all about proving worth, isn't it?
It is proving your worth, but prove your worth to somebody who you can earn some money from. And I get that there's something in you might not know that until you've started that journey, but you'll become a far better judge at that if you start to do this. And it's like anything. It's like if you start running or going to the gym or anything like that, you start to practice a little bit, you know. And what will happen is suddenly you'll say to somebody, well, no, that is our fee, and they'll go on with such and such up the road, and the minute you see that alert come up on Rightmove, or one of your team turn around and say, oh, that one you valued the other day, my applicant's gone to see it today, and that's going to hurt. You know, if it doesn't hurt a little bit, you shouldn't be in the business. But know that you're staying in communication with that person, knowing that,
because values are awful at that, aren't they? Keeping the communication with lost properties, lost listings.
yes, yeah.
How often do you think that, they should be in contact?
I think that they should be in contact the exact amount of times they say they're going to be in contact. How often is up to them. What
would your advice be?
My advice would be regularly.
Come on, you can do better than that.
So I think it really depends on the client. And I think what's really important is you could turn around to somebody in their house and say, what I'm going to do, whether you sell it with us or not, or you've gone on with such and such, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call you once a week, or don't call me once a week, Richard, call me every 2 weeks.
I like the fact you set it up.
You've got to set it up. You've got to set it up because, again, by setting it up, you've got that opportunity to show that you have integrity. I call you every week because I say I'm going to call you every week.
True.
It's more important to somebody that you say, I'll call you every 2 weeks and call them every 2 weeks, than say I'll call you every week and call them every 10 days.
It's interesting because now the market is hardening. If you make contact with them and keep in contact, you're more likely to get the second one, because it's really, I think a lot of valuers are absolutely atrocious at chasing their old valuations, and they won't come to you because they'll feel embarrassed. But by setting that up from day one.
Yeah.
What's the fifth?
So the fifth tip is an old one. It's an easy one.
Go for it.
Structured fees.
Go on.
If I sell it for this, I'll charge you that, and if I sell it a bit less, I'm going to charge you this. It's that.
What a pound note amount then?
Well, if you're doing pound notes, but if you're doing a commission, look, our fee is 1.5%. I get you said those guys would do it for 1.25. We don't do 1.25. We're not that type of company. But I love your house, and I think we're going to work well together, and that's as important as getting you a great price. So what I will do is I'll charge you 1.5% if I get you at least the asking price. Because we all know at the back of everyone's mind, when we're valuing that property, the homeowner knows it as well, they're probably not going to get that figure. And I'll do it a little bit less. It shows a little bit of consideration. It shows a little bit of
skin in the game.
You've got a bit of skin in the game, exactly.
Excellent. Thank you very much.